Welcome to my half of us covering the Sonic Amateur Game Expo 2023. We're going to take a look at Sonic and the Gunslinger here on Keeping BZ. I've got Zach and Alec with me as usual. And yeah, let's get into this. This is a mod for the beloved ancient Sonic fan game, Sonic Robo Blast 2, one of my favorite Sonic games of all time, not even just like fan game-wise. I just love this game to death. And this is just a fun level pack that uses some unique characters, and it has full voice acting and a story.
Wait, this has voice acting?
As we're about to see.
Howdy, partner. I'm Fang the Sniper. I'm a bounty hunter, and I happen to have found myself in this here book of Wild West frontier myths. Right now, I'm heading into town to meet my least favorite client. It's been a long and restless journey, and there's more ahead. Wanna come with? Of course you do. Saddle up.
And so we start not as Sonic the Hedgehog, but as Nack the Weasel, Sonic's nemesis from Sonic Triple Trouble and Sonic the Fighters. And so the premise of this game is essentially similar to the Sonic storybook games like Sonic and the Secret Rings or Sonic and the Black Knight, but now the characters are sucked into a big book of Wild West myths that it just so happens one Dr. Robotnik has already taken over. So Knack's levels are a little different from Sonic's. He has his own gimmick where his are all about combat, which for Knack is pretty simple. He's all about throwing bombs and shooting. Because if you're going to have a Wild West game, why not have a character that just shoots things?
Yeah, I'm surprised this game actually has or the character themselves is 3D. I was like, that surprised me.
Yes, so that's actually another Robo Blast 2 mod. Like, this is a collection of couple different Robo Blast 2 mods, and one of the most popular Robo Blast 2 mods is the models made for all the characters that... I forget the name of the guy who made the mod that creates all these character models, but yes, they all look great. Like, this didn't come with Robo Blast 2. This is one of their other mods, and he's done it for most characters, including for characters specific to mods. But yeah, the guy that made the mod did not make these models. He simply made, I assume, some of the assets, as well as obviously the level design. Oh, I don't know if you guys know this power-up. This is exclusive to Sonic Robo Blast 2. It's a radiation shield that does this.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen that.
And so, let's see. We got a couple birds to kill.
To progress the stage, do you just have to kill enemies, I guess?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
Pretty much. Not for every level. Obviously, when you're playing a Sonic, you're just running.
Oh,
and you're trying to get to the end. While Knack has to shoot stuff. And this also applies to his boss fights. He also has to kill all of the enemies in the environment, and then the shield opens up around the boss, and then you can kill the boss. I've never been quite good using his bombs, though. It feels like you have to be like a specific distance away, and even then, it's not like he locks onto them. Like, that little target that appears is purely for his pop gun, which is his most effective weapon.
Yeah, it does feel like the bomb's arch is a little weird.
Yeah, they're not... It's like, sometimes, see, they line up, but most of the time, yeah, it's kind of a pain in the neck. Come on.
See, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if they had to make it like that, or if there was like a possibility they could have changed it up a bit, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there is one enemy type that works well with bombs, and that's the giant pack of bees here. You can blow up a bunch of them at once if you can land a bomb right. There we go.
If you can get... There you go.
But we gotta destroy the hives.
Ah, okay.
These power-ups just give you more score. Which is only really useful for, like, extra lives.
How often has Fang the Sniper / Nack the Weasel been playable in the actual Sonic games?
Knack has never been playable. Knack's been purely just an enemy that Sonic fights on occasion. He was... Oh! The Knack's only real appearance as a villain was in, well, 2 games that I mentioned earlier. One is Sonic Triple Trouble for the Game Gear, and the other is Sonic the Fighters, which was an arcade game that later got ported to all kinds of consoles. I mainly played it through the Sonic Gems collection that was exclusive to GameCube. In the US anyway. It got a PS2 release in Europe. Okay, here we go. This is what we want. And yeah, they also include like Nack's moveset, by the way, was also not like Nack's actually an unlockable character in the main game of Robo Blast 2. So it's not like they made him up specifically for this mod. But one of Nack's moves that I find very satisfying is his tail bounce, which was actually a move he had. Well, it was an animation he had in Triple Trouble where he would bounce away or he would bounce around in his boss fights. And you can pick up a lot of momentum with this if you know how to use it right, especially if you're high above something.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if it like feels bad for you or anything like that, but like so far I feel like my only complaint so far is that maybe like your character is like a little too floaty.
It's a little bit that way. I mean that floatiness is definitely why I took that death, because he kind of just slid into that pit.
Right.
I definitely am more familiar with Sonic's specific momentum, though all the characters do feel decently similar in this game. Though obviously Nack does not have the same level of acceleration as Sonic. There we go. Get up here and get some extra goodies. And this should be the last of them, I think. Yep, and now we can move on to the next level. And that's also a mod that changes the goal ring to more of a Sonic Adventure goal ring.
Boom! Hey!
I was really enjoying that Western theme.
Wild Egg,
Yeah, same.
the greatest storyteller in the West. I have a job for you. There's this blue rat in town, and I want you to get rid of him. In this fictional universe, he's going by Jesse James and stealing my Chaos Emeralds. I earn those emeralds fair and square by telling my trademark tall tales. But that rat, he's just another criminal, a yellow-bellied outlaw, like you. No offense. Hey, what are you doing? Ah!
And now...
Oh no, Fang karate chopped him.
Yeah. Goodbye, Doctor. I always do like Mike Pollock's delivery on that death scream in the ending of Shadow the Hedgehog, where Shadow just karate chops him to death. So yeah, just like the other bosses, it's all about killing enemies. And if there's any issue I have, it's these earlier levels of Sonic and the Gunslinger, where you're pretty much just running around pop gunning things because the bombs just aren't very useful because of their wide arc. Unless you're killing like the bees, which there are none in this level. But of course the targeted that. But once we get through this, then we'll get to actually see some of Sonic and some of Rouge, and then that will be a good place to stop it. And the nice thing is that when you go back to Nack in later levels, no, all his levels are not just pop gun levels. Nack does have his own unique gimmicks. By that I mean they're not all just levels where you're just shooting all the enemies. There's also tons of other gimmicks that they do to at least make each of Nack's more distinct.
Okay.
And we need one more enemy, it looks like. Ah, there we go.
Alright, so you're fighting Eggman now.
And you just need to shoot Eggman a few times and he's down. If I can get him lined up right. There we go. Come on.
I would say the auto lock-on looks very finicky.
Yeah, you have to kind of stand still and make sure it's getting just right. There we go. Come on. Come on. There we go.
I'm Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, I stole the emeralds, but I only did it to bring down Eggman. Or, as he's taken to calling himself, Wild Egg Hickok. Who knows what that egghead could buy with the emeralds? Case in point, he's already put a price on my head. Speaking of which, a bounty hunter after me? I don't like the sound of that. I better get out of here and meet up with my old pal Calamity Jane.
Alright, and this is Sonic, so we can just blast through everything. Now, Sonic's controls are a little different than in normal Robo Blast 2. In normal Robo Blast 2, Sonic has what's called the Thwuck jump, where he can do like an air dash that flings him a far distance. In Sonic and the Gunslinger, he has a double jump instead. Also, one thing I think is pretty interesting is that they turned off Sonic's acceleration with his spin dash. So if you just tap the spin dash button, Sonic will just go flying with it, which is fun to have that acceleration turned off, but it also means that you just blast off like that.
Okay, so you gotta be very careful with using it.
Yes. And yeah, they, I forget, is this track from Wild Guns or is this from Sunset Heroes? I think it's the latter. Yeah, I think this is a Guns, not Gunstar Heroes. I'm thinking of Wild Guns. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't sound too familiar, because I played Sunset Riders. Yeah.
Right.
There's a Keeping Busy idea. Sunset Riders is really fun.
Yep.
It's hard,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
fun. Charm to par.
Marry me with my money.
What are you doing, Zach?
Those are lines from Sunset Riders.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I do need to play more of that one. You know, and I of course, you know, we all remember the amount of lava there was in the Old West back in those days.
Yeah. It makes for an interesting level, so yeah.
But I do like the idea of just a Western-themed Sonic game. Like, there isn't really too many in terms of Western levels in the main games, to my knowledge, outside of, like, Mirage Saloon and Mania. And the voice actor they got for Rouge actually does a pretty good impression.
Jesse James, it's me, Calamity Jane. Huh? Fang is after you? Then he's after me, too. If you'll recall our little scheme, I sweet-talked Wild Egg Hickok into thinking I was head of the county bank. He entrusted me with the emeralds, after your attempts to take them by force failed. Anyway, this is a dead end, unless we blow up the dam and make a new route. Can I do that, you ask? Why, yes, I can.
I'll take it from here.
So, Rouge does play similar to how she does in SA2. She has her glide and she can climb like Knuckles. And she also has a kick, it's called, but it's not really a kick. It's like she just throws hearts out and they destroy enemies all around her.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Like, she still makes the sound effect from SA2 where she does her kick, but yeah, it's strange. So this is a water-themed stage where we have to progressively blow up dynamite to get the water level to keep going up. I just triggered that dynamite. Now that's going to ascend this wall and we can climb up it. Come on. We're almost at the top. There we go. And now we just need to find the next stretch of dynamite. Could be on either side of the wall. We just need to figure out where. There it is. Triggered it. Move on. And so not all of Rouge's stages, like I said, like this game has a lot of variety. Not all of Rouge's stages are just get to the end or like how this is. Like her next level, I believe, is actually a good old-fashioned treasure hunting level where you're actually exploring Dr. Eggman's plantation estate. And you have to like explore his grounds and inside of his mansion to find emerald shards, and it's pretty well designed. Like it's not ridiculously huge like some of the later levels in SA2 got.
I never liked the treasure hunting in SA2. That was part of the reason I could never beat it.
I didn't mind it in the first couple of stages, but even when you got to like Aquatic Mine, I thought it got a little ridiculous. That's where I got stuck as a kid, because it just felt like Aquatic Mine went on forever.
The bubble shield effectively gives you infinite air underwater, right?
Yes. So I didn't need to worry too much about the water there. So the goal ring is down there. And in order to get to the goal ring, it's actually being blocked by the lack of water in the area. But if we blow up this dam, it makes the water flow down, and it creates a perfect path to get to the goal.
Okay. I thought it was pretty interesting to have like a water level for Rouge, but like they did it.
Yeah, like that's what stands out to me is just the level design just works in this game.
The dam is open and the river is back in action. Thanks, Calamity Jane. Now I've got to get out of here, and fast.
I think this Sonic actor also does a pretty good job.
Yeah, the only one I really honestly take issue with, I just don't think Fang's actor sounds very enthusiastic. Like, I think he's trying to sound, like, stoic and cool, but he kind of just sounds, well, yeah, like someone reading off of a script, which kind of makes me sad because, I mean, to be fair, Nack's never really had a voice. He's not ever been in a game where you could really give him one, but especially in this type of game, I imagine Nack would have, like, an Old West, like maybe like a Southern kind of accent. That's how he always sounded to me in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna mention that before too with like Fang and like a little bit of Rouge's voice actress. Like I think she does like a good voice, but there was like a few times where it's just like the way she did some of like the lines and stuff was a little but like it was pretty good overall. But I think I would say that the guy that does Sonic does like the best with it. Like does a good voice and also like acts him well.
To be like every Sonic fan on the internet and make critiques on Sonic voice acting, I will say that part of my problem with a lot of people that do, like, you know, voice these characters in, like, fan projects is that they put so much effort into sounding like the actors that play the characters that they end up just, you know, they can't emote because they're putting too much strain on their voice already by trying to sound like Jason Griffith or any of the actors that play Amy or that sort of stuff, when the whole point is the emotion. What you need to do is find a voice that sounds like it could fit Sonic and that isn't too much on your voice, and then just go from there. And that's how I've always done it personally. So, like, when I've auditioned, when I was, like, a teenager and I was, like, auditioning to play Jalil White's Sonic in some old, like, radio drama that was on Fans United for Sat AM, I was like, well, I'm not going to sound like Jalil White. So I just tried doing an energetic voice that sounded like Sonic, and I got casted, so I guess I must have done something right. But I was also, like, you know, like 14 or something. I didn't really know what I was doing. My mic was terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna mention before about like I kind of feel bad like for kind of judging more like amateur voice actors and stuff like that because it's not like I necessarily think they did like a horrible job or anything like that. Like I think they did like a pretty decent job, but yeah, I think I agree with you in the sense that like I feel like sometimes people just focus too much on sounding like a particular way that they don't kind of like think about, oh well, I need to still kind of sound like more legit when I'm saying my lines and stuff, like adding actual emotion to it to make it sound more more like that. Like I feel like that's what the character is actually saying, than just a guy like just reading off a script.
And as you could probably tell by this level and by, I mean, you were talking about how you were worried about the controls feeling floaty. I mean, you have seen so far in this level that I've gotten somewhat the hang of Sonic's physics so I can jump on all these tiny platforms.
Yeah. I guess, like, I'm just so used to, like, other Sonic games, like, where there's, like, a bit more, like, heavier gravity and stuff like that. So,
Right.
like, I feel like, especially with, like, a Sonic game, like, you want to be fast and stuff. So if it taking it a little bit longer to land on the ground kind of seems like it would be a little annoying, but I don't know. Like, it seems like you are playing it fine, so I don't know.
Alec, do you actually know that any of the history of Sonic Robo Blast 2?
I know you told me some things about it, but because I think you said it was like it's like a Doom mod or something.
Yes, yeah, this is a mod of I think Doom 2 that they massively overhauled over time. So that partially might be why some of the level design gets a little bit, not really has the slopes you usually expect out of Sonic.
Oh yeah, like I get that. Like that's fine. Like I get that's like sometimes there's like limitations and stuff, but
That said, the latest update to Sonic Robo Blast, that they like the official levels, they actually have added a bunch of slopes to them.
oh okay.
There we go. So yeah, this water wheel, the platforming gets a little bit precise, but I can manage it if I take it a little slow. There we go.
But you can't go slow in a Sonic game.
Yeah, you can't go slow.
Was this Labyrinth Zone?
Well, I definitely would prefer this over Labyrinth Zone. Oh!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no,
yeah,
yeah.
same.
Now
Yeah,
that's
Labyrinth
kind of
Zone.
bullshit. That's like an enemy way on the whole other side of the wheel that can throw projectiles at you. I mean, I find those enemies annoying even in the original Robo Blast. Come on. That slow water momentum. There we go. But when you can manage the tiny platforms, it's actually quite satisfying.
It is nice at the very least that Sonic has a double jump.
Yeah, I honestly do prefer that. In like the level design in Sonic and the Gunslinger is specifically designed around it. Higman even put a statue of himself underwater. Jeez. By all means, to people out there that see this interesting at all and haven't played Sonic Robo Blast 2, please play Sonic Robo Blast 2 and check out the modding community because it's enormous. You can get mods of fan characters, you can get mods of characters from the IDW comics, and you can get gigantic swaths of just fan-made level packs. But I wanted to showcase Sonic and the Gunslinger in particular because it's one, being part of Sage 2023. 2, it's a finished game. You can all the levels are here. You can beat this. And also that, well, I just like the level design a lot. I think it's actually a lot better than some of the other old level packs I've played for Robo Blast.
A job is a job, and my job is to get rid of you by any means necessary. In fact, my client has given me some...
Like, I think this guy even has, like, the right sounding voice for Nack. I just think he needs to be putting either a little more emotion into it or he needs to, like, do, like, some sort of accent.
aim.
Right, yeah.
And now we have to fight Nack. But, because we're fighting Nack, that means that it's a Nack thing, so we have to defeat all the enemies. And this is probably the only part of the design of Gunslinger that I'm a little iffy about. Like, I don't think this is extremely boring. Like, these levels don't last very long whenever you have to destroy stuff, but I do wish that there was a little less of it and a little more focus on other things. I mean, with Nack, it makes sense because you're using his pop gun, and it's literally called Sonic and the Gunslinger. It has a Western theme. That all makes sense, but when you're doing it as Sonic, I'm kind of like, I'd rather just have, like, a platforming challenge or, you know, make it somehow it's difficult to, you know, attack Nack. So you have to find another way to get to him instead of just defeat all the enemies. Oh, come on. And then I assume, Zach, it'd probably be a good idea to stop after this boss, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
There we go. All right, and now to get to the other enemies where we're not able to get to, we use the springs left over from those enemies and get over here. I think you can jump on these guys. They stop moving for a second.
That's just some fast turtles.
I know. Hey, I mean, they're designed by Dr. Robotnik. I don't think he's not gonna make it slow. What's the point in that?
That's fair.
Yeah,
I've mostly been quiet because I've just been enjoying the level design. I like the water wheels of the previous level, for example.
Yeah, there's more of those later. There's a lot of really cool gimmicky levels in this game. There's like later on you have to play a Nack level where you have to get 400 rings, and it's like in this giant carnival that has slot machines as well as like wagons that you can jump inside of and find collectibles in, and it's all really well thought out in terms of giving some sort of variety. Like, it's an Old West thing, so there's only so many canyons and small, dusty towns you can do before people start going like, okay, we get it, it's Western. Is there anything else we can do with this gimmick? But I think they've done a really good job, from Eggman's plantation that you see later, or like I said, carnivals and wagons, and they really played to the most into it. And it makes me really wish that Sega could have done some sort of like Sonic Western game that would have been like official outside of just levels in Mania. Okay, so what am I missing here? There has to be someone we didn't get.
I still remember
someone on the outside.
Yeah,
let's go check.
Or I thought so, at least. Oh no.
Nope.
Ah. Oh. Okay.
I'm honestly not sure what the hell happened there.
Yeah.
There we go.
I still remember when there was a poll for the next Sonic storybook, and one of them was Sonic Noir, and I was really hoping that was going to be a thing.
Oh,
but
same, Zach.
Sonic storybook.
I also voted for that. I was like, yes. I don't even know what the hell that would be, but yes. Oh, there you are. Die.
There you go. Okay, I thought for some reason it was outside.
Yeah, there's another layer to this arena that I always forget about. So where's the other one? They have to be around here, right? Up, down here.
Oh.
Yeah, this is kind of hidden. Okay. There we go. And nope, there's still another one.
Nope, still more.
Yeah, I admit I'm not super big fan of this design. I'd rather just, I'll be real. I know that people constantly bitch that the bosses in Sonic games are never that great. In terms of design, some of the later 3D games I think have decent boss designs, and I think I really like the bosses in Frontiers, even if they're more about spectacle than design. But I mean, especially in the classic Sonic games, the Robotnik bosses for me are always there to be like, you jump on them and not hit them a few times, and then they fly away, and then you go back to doing the levels. Though, to be fair, the bosses in the later levels of the classic Sonic games do get more challenging, and I do like that. It's just, early on, I don't want to have to deal with it. I just want to keep going. Mm-hmm. And that's why I like in Sonic 3, we can just bounce off of them until they fall over.
Fang!
Oh yeah, I forgot the guy that did Eggman's voice, I think, did a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's a pretty good impression of Pollock.
If I may make one suggestion, get into character. Imagine you are not just a chattering Jaboa taking down a pathetic blue rat. Imagine you are the coward Robert Ford tasked with the elimination of Jesse James. For that matter, I need to see proof that you're a real threat. Robot target practice in my swamp. Immediately.
So I'll show a little bit of what this level looks like, and then we'll stop. This is the Southern Swamp that happens on another gigantic piece of land that Eggman now owns. And so the gimmick of this level is not to destroy all the enemies, because, I mean, good God, look at all this. It's instead to destroy these specifically marked turrets throughout the area. And how will you be able to find these turrets? Well, if I get to the top of this level here... There. That's how you notice them.
Oh,
The giant spears of light guide you to them. Now, that doesn't mean they're all going to be on the same elevation. Some of them are actually hidden under the water. Some of them are hidden underneath the trees in the forest. Some of them are on top of the trees. There we go. Get the elevation from the spring. And it's a lot of just like trying to figure out where they are. I think there's about 15 in all as you do a lot of exploration and explore the area. And I much prefer this over the shooting the enemies levels. And overall, after this, there's no more kill all the enemies levels with a Nack for the most part. It's all just about just exploration or collecting rings, that kind of stuff. Because I think even the designer kind of figured that, yeah, people would probably be getting sick of the shooting enemies at this point. Now, I mean, the boss fights for the most part still do the defeat all the enemies, then hit the boss a few times and they go away. But I feel like they do it enough to either switch it up or have so few enemies that it doesn't get super tedious.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's just end this part off by using our radiation shield. Where's a bunch of enemies that I can use this on quick? There's some crabs.
It's very important
Sure,
that
right
Frank
here.
does this.
Good. All right.
Ooh.
I think that about does it. So if this looked interesting to you, there's still plenty of game to go after this, and I highly recommend checking out Sonic and the Gunslinger. You can find it on Sage 2023's website, or if this is after Sage, feel free to just type in Sonic and the Gunslinger on Google, and you'll be either directed to, you know, the page on the Sonic Fang Games HQ's website, or of course to Sonic Robo Blast 2's website, where they post all the mods, and you'll be able to probably find an updated version of this by the time you see this video. So thank you for watching, and happy Sage 2023, everybody. It's been a really great year, and I'm really looking forward to trying more of the games that have come out.